What is going on, everybody? It's Matt Marchese, also known as Islanders Daily, your daily news from the four-time Stanley Cup champions, New York Islanders. And today we have quite a lot of information that is kind of shocking. I was not expecting to be hearing all this information. And in fact, there was a big move that did just occur today for the New York Islanders. And that big move is the New York Islanders have fired their goaltending coach, Piero Greco, who has been with the New York Islanders since 2018. He came from the Maple Leafs with Lou Lamoriello. He was the last coach from that Lou Lamoriello time that he brought with him in 2018. And Piero Greco is given the axe only, 6 games into the season. And this was a big move by Matthew Darche right away. And coming in and filling in for Piero Greco, who will be the new goaltending coach going forward, is Sergei Naumov, who was working in Bridgeport, and he has a history with Ilya Sorokin. He was his goaltenders coach in Russia when he played on CSKA Moscow. So bring a little familiarity to Ilya Sorokin, hoping to get him going. And this was a shock. Obviously, Darche and maybe Wah, because Wah himself was a goalie, just didn't like what Greco was doing with the Islanders as well as Sorokin. And he's given the axe only 6 games into the season. And it's a shocker. It's a shocker because, Piero Greco came over in that big changing period with the New York Islanders. And it's just kind of didn't think the Islanders would be firing anybody this early into the season. But Matthew Darche clearly saying, hey, nobody's safe, and we wanted Greco to go. And this is what Ilya Sorokin had to say about Pierre Greco's firing. He says, I was surprised. I feel sorry for him. He was with me from my first day in the NHL, and I really want to say thank you to him. I respect him as a coach and a human. So, obviously, he was well-liked, Greco, by Sorokin. It could maybe be nice, but I'm sure when you spend that much time with somebody, of course you like them, and it's going to be hard. But, maybe this is a message to Sorokin from Darche, too, to, you got to play better if you want to keep your guys safe. I'm not really sure exactly the reasons for it. We can only speculate. But, so they're going to go with Sorokin, giving in Sergei Naumov. I hope I'm not butchering his name too bad. It's shocking. And, this is... they're bringing him in after Sorokin has a 3.9 goals against average and an 873 save percentage. So clearly they just want to try something new, and I can't wait to see if it works. I do think that it has the potential to work. I shouldn't say the potential. I hope it does work. But just surprising big news by the New York Islanders a day after just winning a game against the San Jose Sharks where the goaltending coach is gone. And then next up is Mark Gatcomb was sent down to the minor leagues today. And that was kind of shocking to me as well, but I think it comes from Alexander Romanov being more injured than we thought, as it does sound like he is missing the next 2 games. So I do think the Islanders are sending down Gatcomb to call up a defenseman to maybe be the extra or even get playing time for the Islanders. But I'm surprised they went with Gatcomb over McLean. I thought if anybody was going to be sent down, it was going to be McLean. But they decided to go to Gatcomb, so we'll have to wait and see if he clears waivers. If he does, he will be reporting to the Bridgeport Islanders. And so they are sending down Gatcomb, and it maybe seems that Romanov's injury is worse than it is. So if that's the case, the Islanders might call up another defenseman. I don't know if they will play or if they'll just be on the extra, because if they're going to play, I'll easily want to bring up Marshall Warren or Isaiah George. Obviously, Isaiah George has some experience in the NHL playing last season. And then Marshall Warren just won the AHL Player of the Week for the Bridgeport Islanders, just a couple days ago. So he's somebody, those are guys you want to play. If they're not going to play, I do think it could be, a guy like McWard coming in and just playing in the press box, sitting up there. So we'll have to wait and see what the Islanders decide to do, but they're making some moves today. Shocking, really. I wasn't expecting all these moves today, but that's what it is. And Gatcomb sent down. I hope he clears waivers. I actually like Gatcomb. I think he's a good player who can fill in when you need him to. So hopefully he's able to clear those waivers and not get claimed. And so we'll have to wait and see who the Islanders are going to bring up to the NHL. So we'll just have to wait and see. And then finally, next up is Pierre Engvall is out for the year with ankle surgery this season. And that was quite I mean, it sucks for Pierre Engvall. Obviously, something happened along the lines there. But like I said, I didn't think Engvall ever had a chance of playing on this team for the New York Islanders. I just did not see a role for him. Um, and now he is out for the whole season. And this contract looks to be one of the worst in the NHL. People kind of had that feeling when it was first signed, but it has just played out horribly this contract, and that is a really bad contract by Lou Lamoriello because I don't see a world in where Pierre Engvall plays another game for the New York Islanders. I just don't see it. I think that is it for Pierre Engvall on the New York Islanders. I'm sure we're going to have to buy him out. I don't think anybody would trade for him. But yeah, so that's it for Pierre Engvall's season. Obviously, I didn't think he was going to play at all this year, but he's done. And now we'll just have to wait and see what the Islanders do from these moves that they made today. And Sergei Naumov, we'll see. I mean, I can't really compare, but he'll be the goaltending coach for the first game against the Detroit Red Wings. It's going to be Riddick going in that game against the Red Wings, and I believe he will be playing Cam Talbot. I think John Gibson was playing for the Detroit Red Wings tonight against the Buffalo Sabres. So I'm assuming we'll see Cam Talbot, who's been playing very good this year, Cam Talbot. Actually, I'm filming this live while that game is going on, so I'll go take a quick look at the score and see what's doing, because the Red Wings are 5-1 this year, very good. They're playing the Sabres, and right now they are trailing 2-1 with 2 minutes and 25 seconds left in the second period. I know the Sabres have a rookie goalie going for them tonight, but yeah. So the Islanders, couple news, we'll have to see what goes on, and yeah, so Riddick gets the game against the Red Wings tomorrow, and also Patrick Kane is not playing for the Red Wings tomorrow. That was just news I heard right before I filmed. But yeah, that's about all for today's episode. As always, if you all have any comments down below, feel free to leave them. And as always, let's go Islanders.